Have you ever had that feeling like you're not quite like everyone else? You go through life, and somehow you just seem to be different. Maybe it's the way people around you act, the way they expect things from you, or even how they treat you as if you're just another piece in their puzzle. But here's the thing, you're not just part of the game. You're not a piece to be moved around according to someone else's plan. You're the one who's meant to be on top, guiding your own path, living by your own rules. The truth is, you were never meant to be part of the circus. You were meant to be the one who stands outside of it, watching, learning, and eventually walking away from it all. I remember the first time I truly realized this about myself. I was always the quiet one in the room, not because I didn't have anything to say, but because I could feel the tension in the air, the hidden agendas, the expectations, the constant pressure to fit into roles others created for me. There were those who thought they could manipulate me, use me for their own benefit, but I saw through it. The more I observed, the more I realized that I wasn't meant to be trapped in their drama. They had their games, their competitions, their little control tactics, but none of it mattered, because I understood at that moment that I had something they could never take from me, my free will. So, I walked away from their games, and in doing so I claimed the most powerful gift I could ever give myself, my peace. It wasn't just about leaving behind toxic people, it was about taking control of my life. I wasn't meant to be part of their system. I wasn't meant to be a pawn in someone else's game. No, I was meant to be the one who rises above it all. And as you sit here, listening to this, I want you to understand something. You're the chosen one, too. You are not part of the game. You are the game changer. The moment you realize this truth, everything shifts. The control tactics, understanding why they tried to manipulate you, you've probably felt it, haven't you? The subtle ways people try to pull the strings in your life. At first, it's easy to dismiss. It's just a small comment here, a little push there, a tiny nudge in the direction they want you to go. But after a while, you start to see the pattern. They start to control the narrative. They twist your words, make you feel guilty for standing up for yourself, manipulate your emotions to fit their own needs. It's almost as if they believe that you are their pawn in a game they're playing. But what they don't realize is that you're not playing their game, you're watching it unfold. I once had a close friend who seemed so sweet, so caring at first. But over time, I began to notice the little things, the way she'd always ask for favors, always expect me to be there, always ask for more of my time, my energy, my love. She'd call me in the middle of the night, guilt trip me into doing things for her, and whenever I set boundaries, she'd make me feel like I was the one in the wrong. At first, I thought I was just being paranoid. But one day, I took a step back, and I realized something important. She wasn't just asking for help, she was controlling me. And the more I thought about it, the more I understood why. People manipulate others for one simple reason. They believe that by controlling someone else's life, they can control their own. But here's the truth. No one can control you unless you let them. The power to change the narrative, to set your own course, always lies within you. And once you see through these tactics, you realize just how weak they truly are. They try to control, but all they're doing is playing a game of deception. And as soon as you stop playing, their game falls apart. Seeing through the facade, the art of observation. There's a special gift that comes with being a chosen one. It's the ability to see through things, to understand the motives behind people's actions, and to recognize when something isn't as it seems. While everyone else is running around, caught up in the drama, you're standing back, watching, learning, observing. You see through the smiles that hide insecurity, the compliments that disguise manipulation, the promises that lead to disappointment. You've mastered the art of observation. I remember a time when I found myself in a group of people who seemed perfectly fine on the surface. They were charming, friendly, always smiling, but something felt off. They would praise you one moment and then criticize you behind your back the next. It took me a while to put the pieces together, but when I did, it was clear. These people were not genuine. Their smiles were masks, their words were empty, and their actions spoke louder than anything they said. And that's when I realized I had to stop looking at what they were showing me on the surface and start observing their true nature. I noticed how their actions didn't align with their words. I began to see the power games they were playing, and I saw the patterns emerging. It was like watching a play unfold, and once you see through the act, the illusion is shattered. That's the power of observation. It's not just about being aware of what's happening around you, it's about being able to read between the lines, to understand the deeper currents beneath the surface. You begin to see when people are hiding their true selves, when they are trying to manipulate or deceive you, and when they are trying to control the narrative of your life. And when you see that, you realize one thing: you don't have to play along. You can step back, detach, and let them reveal their true colors. Walking away, the power of detachment. There's a moment in every chosen one's journey when they realize that walking away is not only necessary, it's the most powerful thing they can do. It's the moment when you understand that you don't have to stay in a toxic situation just because it's familiar. You don't have to keep playing the same game, fighting the same battles, or putting up with the same manipulations. You can walk away. And when you do, it's not about running away from your problems. It's about stepping into your power and reclaiming your peace. For me, that moment came when I realized that I had been carrying around so much emotional baggage. I had friends who drained me, family members who expected too much, and colleagues who never appreciated my worth. I kept saying yes to things that didn't serve me, kept sacrificing my peace for others. But when I finally made the decision to walk away, something incredible happened. It wasn't easy at first. There was fear, guilt, and doubt. But with each step I took, I felt lighter, freer. I realized that walking away wasn't a weakness, it was a declaration of self-love. Walking away from toxic people and situations isn't just about removing yourself physically, it's about mentally and emotionally detaching from their control. It's about saying, I am no longer going to let you dictate my worth. I am no longer going to let you drain my energy. And when you do that, you reclaim the most valuable thing you have: your time, your peace, and your power. When you walk away, you begin to see the world in a new light. You start attracting people and experiences that align with your true purpose. The chaos fades, and in its place, a sense of calm and clarity emerges. You realize that you don't need anyone's approval to be happy, to be successful, or to live your truth. And that, my friend, is the power of detachment. When you detach, you take back control. You stop letting others define you, manipulate you, or pull you into their drama. And in that space of freedom, you finally find the peace and purpose you've been seeking all along. Recognizing your divine worth, you are not meant to be a pawn. Do you ever stop and wonder why some people feel the need to try and control you? Maybe they subtly tell you what to do, how to act, or who you should be. They'll try to make you feel small, as if your worth depends on their approval. But I'm here to tell you one simple truth. You are not meant to be a pawn in anyone's game. You are so much more than that. You are not here to be manipulated, controlled, or molded into someone's idea of who you should be. You are here for a much bigger purpose, one that goes beyond the expectations of others. Let me tell you a story from my own life. I used to believe that my worth came from what others thought of me. I spent years chasing approval, whether it was from my family, my friends, or colleagues. I let their opinions define who I was. Every time someone said I wasn't good enough or that I needed to change, I took it to heart. I believed them, but one day, something inside me shifted. I realized that I didn't need anyone's approval to know who I was. I didn't need validation to know my worth. And that moment, when it finally clicked, changed everything. I stopped looking outward for my sense of self. I started looking inward. I began to understand that my value wasn't tied to the opinions of others. It wasn't about fitting into their mold. I was a divine being with my own unique purpose. My worth didn't depend on anything or anyone except me. And let me tell you, once I realized that, everything changed. The weight of trying to please everyone lifted off my shoulders. I stopped caring about what people thought and started living for myself. And that, my friend, is when I truly stepped into my power. So, here's the truth I want you to take away from this. You are not meant to be a pawn. You are not here to serve others' needs or be controlled by their expectations. Your value is intrinsic. It is inherent in who you are. When you realize this, you break free from the chains of validation seeking and step into the fullness of your divine self. You become unstoppable. The illusion of control, why they can't keep you. It's incredible how many people out there think they can control you. They use guilt, fear, manipulation, anything they can to make you stay in their world, to keep you in their grip. They believe that if they control your actions, your thoughts, your emotions, they'll be able to control your life. But here's the truth: they can't keep you. The illusion of control is just that, an illusion. And the moment you realize it, everything changes. Let me take you back to a time when I thought I had to follow the rules. I had a boss who, like many people, thought that because they had authority, they had the right to control everything in my life. They controlled my schedule, my workload, and at times, even my emotions. They manipulated situations to make me feel small, to make me feel like I needed their approval to succeed. For a while, I bought into it. I thought if I just did what they wanted, I'd be rewarded. But one day something inside me clicked. I realized that no one had the right to control my life. No one had the power to dictate my worth. And in that moment, I understood the illusion for what it truly was, an attempt to keep me small, to keep me under their control. What I learned was simple but profound. No one can control you unless you allow them to. Sure, people can try to influence you, push your buttons, or make you feel like you have no choice. But the truth is, they can only keep you as long as you let them. The minute you realize that you have the power to choose your own path, to make your own decisions, to follow your own truth, their control begins to crumble. They can't keep you, not unless you let them. And once you recognize that, you break free from their influence. The illusion of control is powerful, but it's just that, an illusion. When you wake up to this truth, you become aware of your own strength. You realize that you're not at the mercy of others. You have the power to create your own destiny, to shape your life according to your own desires and values. You are not their puppet. You are the creator of your own reality. And when you step into that power, there's nothing that can keep you. The price they pay, the stupid prize they win. Have you ever noticed how the people who try to control you, manipulate you, or use you for their own gain always seem to end up with the worst of it? They may think they've won, maybe they've gotten what they wanted from you, or they've managed to push you down for a while. But what they don't see is the price they are paying. The prize they win isn't one of success or fulfillment, it's a stupid prize. And the cost of that prize is far greater than they realize. I had a friend once who thought she could manipulate people to get ahead. She was clever, charming, and knew exactly how to get what she wanted from others. She made everyone believe that she was the perfect friend, the one who always had their back. But I saw through it. I watched her as she used people, played with their emotions, and used their trust to get ahead. For a while, it seemed like she was winning. She had all the friends, the connections, and the opportunities. But then something started to change. People began to see her true nature. They started to realize that she wasn't really a friend at all. She was just using them, and eventually she lost it all. Her manipulations caught up with her. The friends she had relied on turned their backs on her. The opportunities she had gained through deception dried up, and the trust she had built was shattered. What she thought was a victory turned into a hollow, empty existence. She had won the stupid prize, a life of shallow relationships, empty successes, and constant disappointment. And the price she paid was high: loneliness, regret, and the realization that manipulation and control never lead to true happiness. The truth is, the price for manipulating others is always too steep. The prize may look shiny at first, but it's always empty. Those who live their lives trying to control others, to push people around for their own gain, will eventually find themselves trapped in a cycle of emptiness. Because true fulfillment doesn't come from winning at others' expense. It comes from authenticity, from living a life that aligns with your true values, from lifting others up rather than pulling them down. So the next time you see someone trying to manipulate you, trying to control you or use you for their own gain, remember this: they're not winning anything of value. They're only setting themselves up for a life of regret. And the real prize, it's the freedom you gain when you stop playing their game. The awakening, a spiritual and emotional rebirth. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when they experience an awakening. It's like a veil is lifted. And for the first time, they see things as they truly are. The games, the manipulations, the control, they all fade away, and what remains is the truth. And in that moment of truth, you realize something incredible. You are not who they said you were. You are not what they tried to make you believe. You are so much more. For me, this awakening came at a time when I was feeling lost. I had spent so many years living according to the expectations of others, trying to please people who didn't appreciate me, and following a path that wasn't truly mine. I was tired, drained, and emotionally exhausted. But one day, I sat in silence and asked myself a question: who am I really? That question triggered something deep inside of me. It sparked a change. I began to shed the layers of who I had been trying to be for others, and for the first time, I connected with who I truly was. This spiritual and emotional rebirth wasn't easy. It meant letting go of old beliefs, old patterns, and old relationships that no longer served me. It meant embracing my true self, flaws and all. It was a process of healing, of forgiveness, and of rediscovery. But as I walked through it, I felt lighter. I felt freer. And more than anything, I felt alive. The awakening is not a one-time event. It's a process. It's a journey of growth, of shedding the old and stepping into the new. It's a journey of reclaiming your power, your peace, and your purpose. And when you go through it, you'll realize that you are capable of so much more than you ever imagined. You are not just a part of someone else's story. You are the author of your own. And when you embrace this truth, everything shifts. So embrace the awakening. Embrace the spiritual and emotional rebirth. It's your time to rise, to step into your power, and to live the life you were always meant to live. The world is waiting for you to show up fully and authentically, and to shine brighter than you ever have before. The reclamation of power, walking into your true purpose. Have you ever felt like you were meant for something greater, like there was a deeper purpose to your life that you were not quite tapping into? If you've ever questioned your role in this world, or wondered if there's more to your existence than just going through the motions, then you are not alone. I've been there. For years, I felt like I was stuck in a loop, doing what I thought was expected of me, following a path that others had mapped out for me. It wasn't until I took a step back and asked myself the most important question of my life: what do I truly want? That I began to reclaim my power. I remember the first time I realized I had been living someone else's dream. I was in a career that I thought would bring me success and recognition, but every day felt like I was moving further away from who I really was. It wasn't until a moment of complete burnout, where everything felt like it was falling apart, that I found clarity. I realized I had been so focused on pleasing others, so obsessed with meeting their expectations, that I had lost touch with my own passions, my own desires. It was a wake-up call. I began to understand that my true purpose was not tied to external validation, nor was it about fulfilling someone else's dreams. It was about aligning my life with what truly mattered to me, my values, my passion, my spirit. Reclaiming my power wasn't a one-time event. It wasn't something that happened overnight. It was a process of rediscovering who I was at my core, of shedding the layers of doubt and fear that had been placed upon me, and stepping into the fullness of my true potential. Every step of that journey brought me closer to my authentic self, and with each step, I became stronger. I realized that walking into my true purpose meant leaving behind the things that no longer served me, relationships, environments, and patterns of thinking that were keeping me stuck. But here's the thing. Reclaiming your power means you have to trust yourself. You have to trust that you have everything inside you to achieve greatness. You are not meant to play small. You are not meant to hide behind the expectations of others. Your purpose is bigger than any obstacle, bigger than any fear, and the moment you align with it, you will feel an energy like never before. It's the energy of the universe working through you, guiding you towards everything you were meant to be. And let me tell you, when you step into that power, the world shifts. Opportunities start aligning. People who are meant to walk beside you appear, and your life transforms in ways you never imagined. Living in alignment with your divine purpose. Have you ever had a moment where everything just clicked, when you realized that you were doing exactly what you were meant to do, and everything in your life started falling into place? That's what living in alignment with your divine purpose feels like. It's not something that happens by chance. It's something you create. I remember the moment when I realized I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was thriving. I had spent so many years struggling to fit into molds that didn't belong to me, trying to please others, and chasing goals that weren't even mine. It wasn't until I made the decision to align my life with my true purpose that I began to experience real fulfillment. Living in alignment means you're no longer forcing things to happen. You're no longer chasing things that don't resonate with your soul. Instead, you start making decisions that reflect who you truly are. You listen to your intuition, trust your inner guidance, and allow the universe to work through you. When you do this, you realize that life becomes easier. It doesn't mean there won't be challenges, but when you're aligned with your purpose, challenges become opportunities for growth, not obstacles that stop you in your tracks. For me, this alignment didn't happen overnight. It was a gradual process of learning to trust myself, of quieting the noise around me and tuning into what felt right. I had to stop asking for permission to live my truth. I had to stop worrying about what others thought of me and embrace the fact that I was meant to live an authentic life, unapologetically. I realized that my purpose wasn't something I had to search for. It was something I had to recognize. It was always there, within me, waiting for me to acknowledge it. And once I did, everything shifted. Now every day feels like an opportunity to live in alignment with who I truly am. I wake up knowing that I am exactly where I need to be, doing exactly what I'm meant to do. The universe supports me because I am aligned with my purpose. And the best part, the more I align with my purpose, the more it flows effortlessly. I attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right energy. Life becomes abundant in ways that you never thought possible when you align yourself with your divine purpose. The power of letting go, trusting the universe. There's a power in letting go that most people don't understand. We live in a world where we're constantly trying to control everything: our careers, our relationships, our futures. We hold on tight, fearing that if we let go, we'll lose everything we've worked for. But here's the thing: sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let go. Trusting the universe means surrendering to the flow of life and knowing that everything is happening for your highest good, even when it doesn't seem like it. I learned this the hard way. For years, I held on to things that no longer served me: relationships, jobs, opportunities, and even beliefs that were holding me back. I was afraid to let go because I didn't know what would happen next. But one day, I realized that holding on was only draining my energy. I was clinging to the past, to things that weren't aligned with my true self. And in that moment, I made a decision to trust the universe. I chose to let go of everything that no longer served me, to release my grip on things that weren't bringing me joy or fulfillment. And that was when my life truly began to change. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about releasing the need to control. It's about trusting that the universe has a bigger plan for you than you can see right now. The moment I let go, I started to feel a sense of freedom that I had never felt before. I realized that the universe was guiding me, and by surrendering, I was opening myself up to something even greater. The things I let go of were not the end, they were the beginning of something new. Now I don't fear letting go. I trust that when something is meant for me, it will come to me. I trust that when I release what isn't meant for me, I make space for something even better. Life is constantly changing, and the only way to move with it is to trust that every step you take is part of the grand design. Letting go is an act of faith. It's a belief that the universe is working in your favor, even when you can't see the whole picture. And when you let go, you make room for magic to happen in your life. Conclusion: the journey of the chosen one rising above the games. As I reflect on my journey, I realize that it wasn't just about achieving success, gaining recognition, or proving anything to anyone. It was about rising above the games that others tried to play with me, the games that society tried to force me into. It was about realizing that I am not meant to play by anyone else's rules. I am the creator of my own destiny, and so are you. The journey of the chosen one isn't easy. It's filled with challenges, obstacles, and moments of doubt. but it's also filled with growth, transformation, and the incredible realization that you are exactly where you need to be. You are not a pawn. You are not meant to play anyone else's game. You are here to create your own. And once you embrace that, once you step into your power and walk into your true purpose, nothing can stop you. So remember this, you are chosen. You are here to rise above the noise, to break free from the chains of control, and to live a life that is in alignment with your divine purpose. The journey is yours, and the world is waiting for you to show up, to step into your greatness, and to rise above the games. Keep walking, keep growing, and remember that your true power lies in your ability to rise, to create, and to live the life you were always meant to live.